tech reviews are boring. They expect us to spend thousands of dollars on technology because some guy tells us it's pretty good. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, our lives are messy. We spill things, we drop things, we break things. We have kids that destroy all of our electronics, which is the reason I created Wreck Your Tech. I'm not gonna talk about just what it can do. I'm gonna show you guys how much it can handle. And today I have the Logitech Quick Cam Pro 9000, fancy name. All right, here's scenario number one. Let's say you're at home, you're eating lunch in the kitchen, doing a little work, having yourself a little Diet Coke. And a big meeting comes up. So you're frantic, you have a lot of caffeine, you get the caffeine jitters, and you just happen to pour your caffeine all over the place. Oh, there's an important document, so you drop that. We gotta quick scan this. I don't know if it's gonna work, people. Well, just dump that in there. Hit copy. It says it's copying. You could possibly save this. And while it's doing that, you might just have yourself another refreshing drink. But let's say little Junior gets a little excited and he decides that he wants to dump applesauce all over everything. Well, it happens to go all over the webcam, so now you're really pretty mad. All right, so here's scenario number one. You get home from work, still listen to your iPod shuffle. Oh, you see your fish, you're so excited to feed him. Hey, fishies, how's it going? Oh my goodness, you drop your shuffle right in there. So after all of this, you're like, oh man, so what are you gonna do? You could wipe it off, but you know what, let's just dunk it back in here and see if that works. Scenario number three, you're running late to work, don't know why you're still late, but good thing Panasonic has this handle. Then you trip and you all, I don't know, oh goodness. Okay, so after dunking it in the water twice, pouring applesauce all over it, and throwing it on the ground, this webcam still works. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the future of tech reviews.
Internet entrepreneur Jared Hoffa, founder of YouGotSauce.com, joins me now to discuss the potential fallout from the agreement. Jared, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you're opposed to this agreement. Why is that?
Well, I'd say I'm more than opposed. I'm furious, and other people should be furious. This is insane. The deal of net neutrality, people don't understand, is if you're a guy in a basement or you're a Fortune 500 company, you can compete the same products with the same speeds at the same time for all users. Basically, what made Google, two guys out of Stanford, become billionaires is the fact that they could compete in the late 90s with Microsoft. So, they're shutting the door behind them. They're saying, you know what, we're not a startup anymore. Let's just shut the door because, we can.
Well, the principle of net neutrality would remain in place for the wired internet, internet that you have at home over cable or DSL. So then why should it be an issue to change things for the wireless internet?
Well, because as we all know, that's the future. I mean, yeah, we're still wired now, but the future is wireless internet. Companies like Clear. Let's not forget that this is a domino effect. It's not necessarily this deal that's the problem, it's the future deals. It's, Verizon's getting into the Fios and hardwire. It's the future of all wireless for all internet. So it's not necessarily the Google Verizon deal as it is what are the future deals going to hold? Because this is going to be a domino effect.
This isn't really a deal so much as it's a framework for the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, as it reviews its rules for the internet and the wireless internet. How then will government regulation, if the FCC were to step in and nullify this agreement, how would more government regulation serve internet users?
And then, this is a big question because this isn't a black and white issue. I don't think the government should have full control of the internet, and I don't think businesses should have full control of the internet. Look, this goes back 150 years with the telegraph. Businesses saw, hey look, the telegraph is around, we can benefit by making faster speeds. The government stepped in and said, no, let's make it equal. The government didn't take over the telegraph, it still became what's known as a common carrier. The same thing should exist today. Internet is great the way it is, it allows for open market opportunity, it should stay that way. I'm not saying government takes over, I'm not saying business runs it.
Now, another way to look at it is Verizon essentially manages a tube, which is the internet, and at one end you have users, at the other end you have content providers. They're charging users for their access to the internet. How come they can't charge access to their service, their tube, to the content providers at the other end?
And know that I would be totally fine with that, except for the fact is if they want to do that, that's great. Like you said, users can pay premium now to get faster speeds for all sites. What this is going to do is going to say, okay, we're going to make faster speeds for selected sites. If they want to charge these companies like Google more money, that's fine, but that shouldn't then go over and spill over to the user to make it a have and have-nots. I mean, what they're talking about is a public and private internet. If you control the speed of information, you will control information eventually.
Now, what challenges does this agreement present to businesses like yours, a smaller internet business?
Well, let's put it this way. Let's say, YouGotSauce.com isn't a direct competitor to Google yet. But let's say I made a product off of that site and Google made a very similar one. If I had a better product with better services and better customer support, Google could still beat me because they have the money to say, I'm going to throw $100 million at Verizon to make sure no one goes to your site. Here's a curveball for you. let's make the deal not Google and Verizon. Let's make it Microsoft and Verizon, and it's 1999. Do you think Google would ever exist? Do you think Facebook would exist? No. Microsoft would own everything. They would own absolutely everything because they had the money to do that.
Well, certainly interesting questions. Jared Hoffa is the founder of YouGotSauce.com. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.